Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I know it has been quite a while, but I decided I was never really a big fan of the story thing. I always kind of wanted to do my own thing, and this is at least a little bit more original, maybe not completely. But yeah, so today we'll just be playing some Arkham Origins while I have a little commentary on it. Obviously not the full 8-hour game. I've cut it all into this longer video. But I know everybody's already played Arkham Origins for now because it's 12 years old and everybody has gotten over the hating it part of it. But it's very hard to believe that this game even got as much hate as it did because it's my first time beating it and it's definitely second place in my Arkham ranking, just behind City. I really enjoyed the Christmas setting and the story of the game, but regardless of opinion, it should be objectively recognized that Batman was on a different wavelength in this games. Like, he was actually insane in these games. Especially this one, though. So if you all do end up liking this video or the gameplay, just let me know and I can do more games. But please don't make it a 100-hour game, because this already took me about 2.5 weeks with work and school. So after we ore farm our way into the Batcave, we suit up and we're sent over to Blackgate because Black Mask has taken over the prison. So we start off by absolutely destroying these idiots in the cell block. And then after interrogating the last one, we find out that Black Mask wants to kill the commissioner with Killer Croc. He did not even need to do that, bruh. He had all of them on his side. He had all of them on his payroll. But we eventually find out that he killed Loeb, he threw him in the gas chamber, and we run into his first minion, which is Killer Croc. So Sionis runs away because it's too early for his boss fight. So now it's time for us to fight Killer Croc, and honestly, it was a decent boss fight. It really wasn't that hard. His moveset was pretty basic. The thing that was cool was throwing the batarangs at the explosive barrel things, but at the end of the day, it was a pretty just tutorial boss fight, which is all you can really expect from the start of the game. The whole tutorial in general of this game is just really well made, and I like the intro into the world and the slightly different style that Origins has. And we do end up beating Croc pretty easily at the end. I mean, like I said, his moveset is pretty bare. But we do get it done. And then after that, we go ahead and torture him by punching him a few times with the swift hand of justice. And then the GCPD shows up after Croc tells us we have many, many assassins after us, which is just, that's typical night for Mr. Wayne here. But after that, we aura farm our way out of a confrontation with the cops and head back to the Batcave. After getting back to the Batcave with Alfred, we find out who these assassins are and why they want to kill us. For some reason, they actually think they'll get paid $50 million if they do it and not just be backstabbed and betrayed. I mean, this is Gotham. It's not hard to predict that, but I guess we aren't dealing with the most intelligent assassins either. We have Killer Croc, Deathstroke, Firefly, Copperhead, Deadshot, the Electrocutioner, Shiva, and my favorite from this game, which is Bane. Bane also has an awesome intro. Bane's depiction in this game is actually probably my favorite depiction of the character. He doesn't actually get a lot of good depictions in most media. He just kind of ends up being a big guy who's also strong, which sucks, because he actually is really intelligent, and the games that let his intelligence shine are usually really good. Because I hated him in City, hated him in Asylum. He was just always pretty boring. He never had a lot going on. But I did really like his character in Origins. We find one of Penguin's dealers, Loose Lips, who is the idiot in the Santa hat, and we decide that we need to give them a bunch of non-lethal justice. So we go down there and beat them all into just safe comas. You're going to come back. You're just going to have a lot of broken bones. And we also practice our combos on them. Break their arms, anything we can, really, just to not kill them. But Batman got close with this one. He got really freaking close. He almost killed this dude. He interrogated him, first of all. When he's interrogating him here, he chokes him out, knocks him out. He's like, okay, well, not good enough. I'll dangle him off the fucking roof. So he dangles dude off the roof until he, obviously, and he sees Batman there. He's freaking terrified, so he drops him into a damn clock tower, brings him back up, and then you're about to see what he does again. It's not pretty. I mean, I don't know how he thought that this wouldn't kill this guy. So he drops him into a fucking Christmas tree. This is what I mean when I say Batman was on a different wavelength in this game, because there's no possible way he wouldn't have freaking known. Like, there's no way that he knew that that guy was going to live. I mean, maybe. It's Bruce Wayne, so I'm sure, he practiced that scenario in his head a million times with prep time, all that, blah, blah, blah. But it seems unlikely. So we keep tracking down the Penguin here because we figure that he has to know about Black Mask, which is, I mean, he kind of ends up knowing about him, so I guess that was a good idea, but I wouldn't have guessed it. So we go down, punch that guy in the sides, and then we do a little bit more cryptographic sequencer work, which I hate. And we stealthily take out a few of these guys on Mr. Penguin's ship here. He actually has, like, the worst ship in human history. This thing is freaking falling apart. It's terrible. I don't even know. He has money. I don't know why he doesn't just try to fix it or anything, but maybe he just likes it being broken down. I don't know. And we drop down into this pit here where we have a very long and hard fight with the electrocutioner. And then get back to practicing our combos on some, citizens. We interrogate the guy by putting our boot to his head to find out that the Penguin is in his office. So we head on down to try to make it there, fight a few more waves of enemies, and one of his, I'm guessing one of his friends, Tracy, is there, and she's like, I'm probably not going to let you in, but after some slight persuading, Bruce Wayne, that's his whole thing. After some slight non-violent persuading, she decides that she'll let us in there and she'll let us talk to the Penguin. And I was like, thank you. I really appreciate that. And she said, no problem. I definitely did not throw her in a jail cell and lock the door. But we make it into there, or we try to. And then one of these big guys comes out, and they are actually not hard to deal with. I think they're kind of meant to be, or somewhat, maybe. I don't know. But they really weren't that tough. They just are kind of one of those enemies, cape stun, punch, 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 cape stun, punch, 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 cape stun, punch, 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 until you just DDT the fuck out of them. And, a pretty easy character to fight there. And after yet another stealth section, which they are pretty good in this game, so I can't complain, we make it to Penguin's office. And we find him torturing Mr. Falcone here. I don't really know why he keeps torturing this guy. I mean, because it seems like he got him to do what he wanted pretty easily without even having to torture him. But regardless, the Penguin has short man syndrome, I suppose, so he takes a cattle prod to him to try to get him to get his father out of the weapons business. After shocking him and shocking him and shocking him after he said he would do what he wanted him to do, we come in, perform some non-lethal takedowns, and send a couple people across the room. And after we do that, we get to finally meet the Penguin. And the Batman is very nice about meeting him, throws him into the wall. After some interrogation on the Penguin and continued beating, which he does deserve, we ask him about Black Mask, ask him about the bounty. Penguin says he doesn't keep tabs on him, that he doesn't know who he is, that he's not popular in the town. So after Penguin says he's not popular in the town, Batman picks him up by his neck, and eventually he tells him that there was a murder at Lacey Towers, and that Batman should go check that out if he wants to know. And then now, we get to my second favorite boss fight of the game, Mr. Deathstroke. He takes our leg, pulls it out from under us, but Batman has too much aura to die like that. So he gets down, and they're about to fight. And let me tell you, this boss fight was freaking majestic. It was awesome. I loved it. Did I spam the bat claw? Yes. But I feel like you kind of had to. And it was awesome. And the animation for doing it was freaking sick, because I'll show you in just 1 second. This is where I do it. Oh my god. Amazing. Literally my favorite part of the game is almost this part. The Bane boss fight, the one on the roof, is definitely my favorite. And I do have a whole montage of me dying to it later, because playing on hard difficulty in these games usually is not a problem, because the boss fights are usually not very difficult, but that one was. And this one wasn't difficult or anything, it was just fun. I liked it. You're fighting somebody on a similar skill level to Batman, which you never really do, and so you just absolutely beat the shit out of him. And this old geezer comes up like he's going to beat Batman. He needs to be sent back to the nursing home, and that's eventually what we do to him. And the game says he's like 44, but I do not buy that shit. Look at that guy. He has white hair. You can get gray hair in your 40s, but you don't get white hair. And maybe he has a condition. But Batman eventually just beats the shit out of him, just like any other boss in the game. Batman's really just the GOAT. He throws his sword at his head. His blind eye can't see him. Bang, knocked out. Easy. The Penguin does a little taunting before we head over to Lacey Towers, like we weren't just absolutely beating the shit out of him too. We actually get to knock out all the cops we want in this game, which is pretty funny. Showing that, I guess, I don't even know if they have to be, like, corrupt or anything. I think you can just knock out any of them. But we find the murder, we find what happened here, and it looks like somebody came in and killed, quote-unquote, Roman Sionis and his girlfriend. And that's pretty terrible, but we do find out something about a guy called the Joker, which, yay, Joker villain. But it wasn't too bad, and I do understand that these games are Batman and the Joker. That's like the whole point, it seems like. But I don't think it would have been that bad actually having Black Mask as the villain. But we find out that it was somebody that broke in and, using context clues, it was the Joker. He broke in, killed him, blah, blah, blah. And then a guy ran in from behind, which I'm guessing is going to be the real Sionis, which I'm not guessing. But we find out what happened, blah, blah, blah. We head back to the Batcave. Alfred wants us to take a concussion detonator so that when we go into the GCPD, we don't have to actually just keep knocking them out. But of course, I'm just going to keep knocking them out. We make it onto the rooftop of the GCPD, knock out a guy with a sniper, keep making our way down. Obviously, choking all of them out is necessary. And then the last guy, I just had to fight him head on and see what would happen. We make our way into the bullpen, see all the cops. And this was pretty cool, seeing the bullpen. Because I had never seen anything like it, except for like a couple movies. And I really liked the show Gotham. And it kind of looked like the one from Gotham, and that's why I liked it. So we find out that my best buddy in the whole world, Brandon, wants to kill Batman. Oh my god, I hate Brandon. Brandon is such an idiot. I'm so happy for later on. I won't spoil it, but something amazing happens. We choke out another guy, make it into the interrogation room, and find our old friend, Loose Lips. He's in there telling him that it's none of his business what the Disruptor does, but it's Batman's business. So we go in there, knock the cop out, interrogate him for good measure, and obviously after just asking him like an old friend, what happened? What did we do? What does it do? He tells us. He does. And we just have to let him go to sleep for a little bit to help him with it. At least we don't drop him off a roof this time. We just knock him out with our elbow or forearm. And we go up here, and now we have to fight these cops who are torturing homeless people. So we started off with an awesome explosion to get things going. After practicing our combos for a second, we beat the shit out of the rest of these cops. And I love the finishers in this game. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just the same as all the other games, but I love the Arkham finishers a lot. We hear a guy on the phone that's getting manipulated by the Riddler. Or I guess he calls him an enigma, which that's what the Riddler's called in this game, so we kick him into his locker. Now we have our first stealth section with the cops, and I liked it. I did. They felt a little bit... I mean, they're still stupid. All of the stealth enemies in this game are always really dumb, and that's why stealth sections are always never really that hard, but they did feel a little bit smarter. But when we go to try to go to the service room here, it looks like Oracle is playing against us and has jammed where we can't get into it. So we decide that we need to go get that disruptor that Loose Lips was talking about. So we decide we need to go down. We have to get in through there. I think it was through the infirmary. So we make our way down to the jail cells. And of course we can fight some more cops here. So we do. After making our way through the infirmary, we go through an old elevator shaft and eventually make our way to finding the disruptor. And this disruptor is pretty cool. I think it is better in the other games, especially in City. I love City. I mean, it was a shame because I had City done. I had done City. That City was going to be this video. And I corrupted all my files because I'm an idiot. And I was not able to recover them back because I I don't even know why I wasn't able to recover them. I just wasn't. So they're all gone now. It was a tragedy. But that means I get to play Arkham Origins, and I'm pretty glad I got to play it because I had never gotten to play it beforehand. So it was a pretty cool experience. But regardless, when we make it back to the holding cells here, of course, in the 5 minutes we've been gone, every inmate has escaped. They've hung cops up from the ceiling, and just of course that happened because that makes so much sense, very reasonable, but these games necessarily aren't meant to be reasonable, so we kind of give it some slack. But after we come back to the main room, we're going to knock out this disruptor, and we're going to knock out the defense to this door so that we can go meet Oracle for the first time and find out why she was working against us. Barbara actually likes the Batman, and she decides that she wants to help us out a little bit, which I very much appreciate. She tells us that we need to go down to the sewers, though, which I've never liked any sewer section, except if it was City. But I mean in any game in general, I'm not a big fan of sewer sections. City is different, and Origins ended up being different, which I guess I should have trusted in that. But when I heard that I'd have to go to the sewers, I was like, oh my god, it's going to be a stupid section. It's going to be boring. But it was not. It was pretty cool. But after we get gassed out by a couple cops here that think Barbara's talking to someone when she obviously wasn't, she was just talking to herself, we go into the firing range and find some more cops that want to kill us. And they wanted us to use the disruptor during this moment, but I was never a big fan of that, so we just beat them all up. Then we end up having to run into the elevator because those guys, I guess, got back up and are chasing us now. Or it might be the guys from where they smoked us out with Barbara. In the elevator, we go on up and we meet our best friend, Jim Gordon. Now, this meeting does not go well. They are not friends at the start of this game. But because Jim Gordon is very much we have to do everything by the book. It can't be done any other way, even though every other fucking cop in this game does not do things by the book. Every single one is corrupt, except for Gordon. But he can't make an exception for Batman yet, I guess, in his head. Even though his daughter's even telling him Batman's good. She's probably the only one that's saying he's good. But every other cop that's corrupt, if they're saying he's bad, what does that point to? But anyways, we knock out James Gordon because they tried to shoot us with him next to us, and then we knock out the rest of the cops once again. These cops just keep getting knocked out, and Mr. Brandon just keeps getting knocked out as well. And it feels good. Every single time I get to knock out Brandon, I feel like my life is extended by 1 year. And it's excellent. I think I get to knock him out a total of maybe 3 or 4 times. So if I was going to live to 80, I'll be 84. So we make it down to the sewers eventually. We find some of Black Mask's guys that got martial artists now that think they can stand up to the Batman, which obviously they can't. I actually thought these martial artist enemies were really easy in this game. You just counter twice, and they seem like they go down in just a couple counters. It seems like it doesn't take very much damage to knock these guys out. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't measure anything. I was just playing the game. So this is just off feel. This is just off vibes. But I felt like it was pretty freaking easy to beat these guys. Look at that. Double. Bang. I think he's actually out. No, he's not. But they were really easy to beat. And they stayed down for a while. They felt like their laying on the ground timer was longer. Which it probably wasn't. But they were just super freaking easy to beat. Not very complicated. And that's the only thing I don't like about the Batman games. Is I've always really liked challenging games, and City was challenging when I first played it because I wasn't used to the combat of the games. And now that I'm more used to it, it got a little bit easier, except the Bane fight. But, dude, these games, all the enemies they introduce to be harder are always pretty easy. There's never a big issue. In Asylum, what I didn't hate is they just throw 5 Titan enemies at you and expect you to just be fine with that. I was not fine with that. I've played every Batman game through the end except Night because I just never finished it. I could finish that one. But if you guys want to see me play them in either chronological order or I have kind of ruined the release order method, so I apologize, but I didn't want to play Asylum yet. I don't even know if I have Asylum. So if you guys want me to buy Asylum... Oh, wait, no, I do. If you guys want me to play Asylum, just let me know, and we can go in chronological order there. And, kind of just make it through the games. I love that. If you guys want to see me play Spider-Man, you should recommend that one. But we find out that Black Mask wants to, of course, plant bombs. Because that doesn't sound like anybody else in the series at all. And it totally makes sense for Sionis to do that. Since every single cop is on his payroll, we want to blow up where they stay at. It makes a lot of sense, because after that we'll have no allies, and we don't need allies, we have Aura. So I guess that's what he's going off of, or what the game wants us to believe. We go up this little elevator here, find some more bombs, and very climactic fight here where we just beat up another enforcer. And I love the fact that Batman does like wrestling moves on them, like DDTs and shit. We find out that Sionis owns the banks, so we go to the bank to see if we can find the imposter here. And we instead find a bunch of dead bodies at the start, but we somehow put Aura before practicality here and jump into the middle of a room with a bunch of guys aiming their guns at us. But we find Sionis, quote unquote, with a weird woman that can't stop smiling. Very odd. But then the grand reveal is made. Sionis is not Sionis. He's actually the Joker. He has green hair and he laughs a lot. Woohoo. And he's not voiced by Mark Hamill. But I overall did like the performance of the guy who, I don't even know who voiced him, but it wasn't Mark Hamill. And I did like the performance of the guy that did it. And I did like the look of the Joker in this game. He looked a lot different than any other game. But he blows us up. We wake up next to the smiling woman in a very, very creepy way. I was not expecting that when I first loaded up the game. I was actually a little bit stunned by that for a second. I was like, oh my god. But we go into the next room, take out a few of the now Joker's goons that aren't Sionis's anymore, interrogate a guy. He tells us some more stuff. We head on over to our next area here. After interrogating that guy, he tells us we need to go to the steel mill. So we head over to the steel mill, which used to be Sionis' steel mill, but now if you've played any other game, you know it's the Joker's. And this is how we find out he took it over. So we make our way through the steel mill. We do a bunch of spamming finishers. We upload the database from Black Mass servers, and Alfred tells us the code so that we can get in. And we blow up a wall with these steel beams and then tie a couple enemies' heads together. I didn't know you could do that in this game, so that was pretty funny. And we find our friend Black Mask, the real Black Mask. We finally can talk to him. And Batman, of course, is very kind to him. He takes some time knowing that he's been tortured for a while. And, gives him a little bit of justice. He kicks him in the ribs, breaks one of them, I guess he said. And now he wants to speed his pacemaker up so that he can fuck up his heart, which is, that's pretty tough. But then Copperhead comes along, hits us with a Hurricane Rana, and it looks like we're going to fight her here. But she just ends up countering Bruce and then poisoning him. And Sionis is like, kill him, I'll pay you whatever. So she just cooks the shit out of him, says, you're not shit anymore. Fuck you, get out of here. And he does. He leaves. He says that we're some freaks. A little bit weird, Sionis, but whatever. So she does a little bit more moves on us here, hits us with that poison, like I said, and Batman just starts tripping the fuck out. And instead of killing us when she could, right now, I guess it's her whole thing to let us suffer, which, whatever, but with somebody like Batman, I don't think you want to just let them suffer, because he's probably going to be fine. But we start hallucinating, seeing Alfred. He tells us that we're throwing away our family's legacy and money, and we end up seeing the smiling lady in the elevator. She comes back to life and tells us that we're not a savior, that we're just a terrible person, blah, 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 that everything we're doing is wrong. And then we start the Copperhead fight. And this fight was all right. It wasn't my favorite. It was cool. It wasn't challenging. I did almost die, so I guess it was challenging. I did almost die. But most of these bosses I beat first try. Killer Croc I think I beat first try. Copperhead I beat first try. Deathstroke was first try. Most of them I did beat first try. Oh, and Firefly. That fucking fight. Oh my god. I hate that fight. But Copperhead was easy. She just had a bunch of her little goons come out of her. So, ill. But, so it was really easy to beat her. You just got to combo them all up, keep doing finishers, and eventually, I think it's kind of like the race fight where one of them is the actual Copperhead. But either way, you just keep doing damage to her and beat the shit out of her over and over, normal Batman stuff. And when I got almost close to dying, I was just using the evade so freaking much because I did not want to do this fight again. I hated it because it was just, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a bad fight again, but I just kept spamming the evade. Then eventually we get our serum, our healing serum here. We inject it into our neck and we're fine. And then Copperhead tries to fight us and we just fucking slam her onto the ground. And we now need to go to the Royal Hotel, which, oh my god, it was cool for the first 30 minutes. It didn't need to be like an hour and a half though. That was not very fun. But I'm going to skip through a lot of this stuff for you guys so you don't have to watch it. Joker kicks Electrocutioner out of a fucking building. He falls down in front of us. And now we decide that we do need to take his gloves in a minute. But first, Bane is going to throw the Joker. We steal Electrocutioner's gloves because we need to. And I liked the shot gloves. I know I saw some people didn't like them. They said it got boring quick, and it did. But it felt kind of like the gauntlets from God of War 3. I don't know if I'm wrong for feeling like that, but that's what I felt like. They felt like they were really fun to use for a while. They did get a little bit boring, I will say, but at least they let me get my combo meter up. Since I didn't have Critical Strike in this game because I didn't know it was a side mission to get it, I was just, doing critical counters or whatever, but the shot gloves did 2 per hit, just like a critical hit would do. I was very happy being able to build my combos back up, actually. So, after trying to defuse a bomb, the Joker made it to where somehow, I don't know, I really don't understand, but our cryptographic sequencer made the bomb speed up. We jump out of the building. Obviously, the whole floor blows up, per usual Batman stuff. We make our way onto the roof where we'll eventually fight Bane, but we're fighting goons for now. We build our combo meter up. I think I put it in here because I got a high combo, but I honestly am not very good at getting combos in this game. Bane pulls us out of the elevator, again showing that he actually has some intelligence, whereas in the other games he'd probably just run through the fucking empty elevator. But Bane throws us through the hallway. He's about to kill us, and the Joker says that, hey, you gave me 1 minute. So the Joker has his 1 minute. Bane counts down very well, actually. It's exactly 1 minute. The Joker blows up another tower over there. Blah, blah, blah. Typical Joker stuff. It actually didn't have any people in it. But just as we're about to beat the shit out of the Joker, the best fight of the game comes up. My favorite fight, Bane. Because he absolutely just beats the shit out of Batman for a little bit. Just over and over. Just, oh my god, I don't know how he survived a lot of this stuff. And just when it looked like he was about to break his back and do normal Bane stuff, he throws him out of a damn window. And Phase 1 is about to come up here. Phase 1 is super freaking easy. Phase 1 and 2, it's when you get to the third phase. I call Phase 2 when he turns his drugs on in the closed room in the library. That's what I count as Phase 2. Maybe it's wrong. I think it's still part of Phase 1, but Phase 1 and Phase 1B are really freaking easy because all of his moves can just be countered super quickly, super easy. But it's when you get to the Phase 2 or Phase 3 that he becomes a real menace because this guy just will not fucking die. And oh my god, it was so annoying. I threw my controller. I had to take a break for the night, and you guys are about to see why in just a second. I will let you guys watch this short montage of me continuously dying. This is how many times it actually took me to beat the boss, by the way. I put every death in here. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'll be back in a second. After coming back the next day, I had downloaded his moveset in my head overnight. That's all I could think about before I went to sleep. But I was able to beat him first try in the morning. I outclassed him a little bit. It was actually pretty easy because, like I said, the main thing that was hard about this fight was the stupid charging attack. And for some reason, I knew that I had to use the other enemies to dodge it, but I was just really bad at it, I guess. But this second day, I'd kind of mastered it, and I found out that if you didn't have an enemy, what you needed to do to dodge it, which it wasn't very hard. It's just the hardest thing about these games is dodging that attack. But another way I beat him, I'm guessing this isn't a surprise if you've been watching the video, spamming finishers. Use the goons. If you have your 5 combo counter by now, which I did, and it was stupid that I couldn't get it earlier, but I had it because it won't let you do whatever upgrade you want. You have to follow a path, which kind of sucks. But either way, I spammed the shit out of these damn finishers over and over. I would use those enemies. Since I didn't have a critical attack, it did take a little bit longer, but I would do that until I had him cooked. And it did not take very long when he did that. But he shoots a bazooka at the Joker, and rather than just letting this guy die, because Batman wouldn't have even killed him, he had to save him. And this is where the Joker fell in love with him. But we saved the Joker. He gets up, and of course the first thing he does is point a gun at us, and his goons do too. But he just kills his goons. And then Batman takes his gun, beats him up, and the cops are here, and instead of focusing on the Joker, they want to take out Batman, but the Batwing is right there, and we're just able to grapple up to it. So now we get our Joker section where he becomes a playable character for a little bit, and we find out how he fell in love with Batman. And as he's telling Harley about this, she thinks it's about her, so the manipulation of Harley starts, and this is where she starts to become Harley Quinn. She thinks that the Joker was asking for her name when he just wants to know Batman's, but then he sees an opportunity and starts manipulating her. We get a really cool scene with Alfred where he tells us that we're not some hardened vigilante, that we just have a trust fund, and Batman is like, no, I am fear, I am the night, blah, 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 normal Batman vengeance stuff. But we do eventually just leave. Of course, we're not going to listen to Alfred. Why would we do that? We're not listening to some old dude. We're young and turnt. That's all we care about. So after we leave, we make our way to Bane's hideout because Batman somehow got a tracker on him, of course. But we find out that Bane used his intelligence and actually found out who Batman was, and that is awesome. I love that. I love the intelligence that Bane has. But, of course, in every other Arkham game, he is just an idiot. Every other iteration of the character, he's an idiot. I hope that a movie like The Batman 2022, any sequels for that, I hope they include Bane, and I hope they do justice with him. I have faith in Matt Reeves. I think it would be good. But now we get to my least favorite section of the game, entirely unnecessary. The bridge. At this point, I know that it's going to sound bad, but at this point, I was just like, okay, I've been playing this game for however many days straight. I haven't played any other game. I'm not even studying the way I need to because I'm prioritizing playing this right now, which is not smart, by the way. Don't do that. But then I have to go to the fucking bridge to fight Firefly. Idiot. Hasn't even been in the game. They could have made this game about like 3 assassins and made him be like Deathstroke. They should have put Shiva in the main story since they kind of hyped her up a little bit. I think it should have been Shiva, Deathstroke, and Bane. I think those should have been your 3 assassins. I don't think there should have been shit about stupid fucking Firefly. I'm not even going to go through this whole section because of how much I was mad about playing this. I didn't even like the boss fight. The boss fight was just fucking glue gun, the fucking cum gun. You're throwing the damn cum grenades at him, and then you have to use the bat claw to pull him to you. It's just stupid. I'm sorry, it's stupid. I didn't like it. I didn't like Firefly. He had a stupid plot. He had like 15 bombs, whatever. The best part, I get to knock out that fucking idiot Brandon. That is my favorite part about this. I get to knock out Brandon. But anyways, we're skipping through this. We're not going through this whole section. So we are going to go past the boss fight. I will show you the end of the boss fight. We knock out Firefly, leave him for the GCPD, and we finally get back to the good part of the game, which is to do with Bane and, unfortunately, the Joker. But the Joker actually was one of the best parts about this game. But we find out another cool thing that Bane did. He broke into Batman's house and he beat up Alfred, I guess. Obviously, Alfred's not going to die because it's Arkham Origins, so we get some rubble off of him and start his heart back up. Tell him, come on, we're going. We make our way to the prison, which is a cool part, but we've had like 3 prison sections in this game. That's the only thing that I was like, okay, there had to be something else we can do. We keep making our way through a couple more stealth sections, and these stealth sections were actually hard because they had like a million enemies. I actually really liked that. And you're about to see this freaking awesome kill that I got for the last one. I used the cum grenade because I found out that I could from the Firefly fight. So that's the one good thing that came from it. We save Harley. She's not very nice to us because she just wants to go back to finding the Joker. But we keep fighting our way through the prison riots because every inmate has escaped once again because it's a Batman game. Every inmate except for Deathstroke. I guess they specifically didn't open his cell. But every other inmate has escaped. We just keep fighting them, keep building our combos up. By this time, I was pretty good at the combos. Because at this time, I had played Arkham City straight for about 3 or 4 days continuously, and this game for about 3 or 4 days. Because I don't have as much time as I would like to. Because if I had it my way, I would have beat all these games in one day and recorded them all. But it doesn't get to go my way. We fight some more big enforcers in the prison, hit them with a couple more DDTs, build our combo meter up as high as we can, and finally make our way to the final boss fight of the game. Awesome boss fight, pretty cool. I don't know. I'm putting it kind of midway. It was cool. It was a cool concept having the Joker, put the thing on his head so that if we killed Bane, he would live, and if we didn't kill Bane, he would die. So it made Batman where he had to think outside the box, and he did. He used those shot gloves. But the second time we fought Bane, it was cool. It was just like a reskin of the last fight, which obviously, because he's the same person. But it wasn't hard. We fought through him. James Gordon comes in, thinks he's saving the day from the Joker, and for some reason he gets so fucking close to the Joker with that damn gun, he should have had the other dude do it, or something. I don't know. Honestly, Jim Gordon, he should have probably just shot him. He doesn't have the code. But anyway, of course the Joker takes back over, so we shock Bane's foot. We get back up, we fight him a little bit more, we beat the shit out of him when we stop his heart. And by this point, we have saved Jim so many times, and he has the audacity to be such a fucking idiot. Obviously, he shoots Jim in the chest, so I guess he was a little bit pissed at this point. But we've saved him so many times, and he still wants to lecture us about the kill. Dude, you have definitely killed people. He does not have a no-kill rule. Maybe in this game series he does. I don't know. But anyways, we bring Bane back to life, and that turns out to be not a great idea. We should have escaped, because Bane just fucking injects himself with so much venom that he turns into a damn zombie, into a big fucking dude. Like, he turns into just the Hulk, or Rhino, or a damn villain like that, because now we see how he became the trash villain that he is in the rest of the games, and the trash boss fight that he is in the rest of the games. But we do get one last good Bane boss fight, which honestly, it just felt like a boring, like a not as good Freeze fight, because you had to think outside the box or whatever. Which, in this one was a lot easier because there were way fewer takedowns you had to do. At least in the Freeze fight, I think you had to do 8 of them on hard difficulty. And that was fun. I love the Freeze fight. It's something I will replay Arkham City just to play. But we beat him up a few times, throw him into the electricity, and Batman says one of the stupidest timed things ever. He's just sitting there. He has no restraints on him. He's like, it's over. You get to see what happens next. He gets thrown into a fucking wall and punched through it. But luckily, Batman does have a big brain, or a regular-sized brain, but he's intelligent. He fires the remote claw, electrocutes the shit out of Bane. We think we're almost out, but Killer Croc grabs us up, and we think it's about to be another fight. But no, Jim Gordon makes a sniper guy shoot the croc, and he's like, you know what, go find the Joker. I don't care anymore, which is okay. And then me and Jim Gordon have our awesome hero moment where we team up and fight guys, but it was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that. And we finally get to beat the shit out of the Joker. The most satisfying part of this game, by far, easily. I've just cut the point where I was so ready to just be done with this game at this point that this actually kept me in it because I just got to spam X and beat the shit out of the Joker. I reloaded my game. I don't have it recorded, but I did try to reload my game so that I could beat the Joker, but unfortunately I could not, or I could not figure it out. But either way, just got to beat the shit out of him over and over again, and that's how we end our game. Finally, we have beat the Joker. It took a little time. It did. But he's done. For now. Of course, he drops a little bit of philosophy on us before he goes out about how we're the same. Blah, blah, blah. Beat me until your knuckles bleed. A little bit weird. Like I told you, he's already fallen in love with him. But after this, we get our final scene with Jim Gordon, which you would think by now he would be like, oh, well, he helped me beat the Joker, he didn't kill him, and he has him restrained and ready to be arrested. Maybe I shouldn't point my gun at him and try to arrest him. Well, you'd be thinking wrong, because Jim Gordon has to do things by the book. But Batman easily escapes. I mean, as soon as Jim Gordon looks away, Batman's just completely gone. And that ends our game today. So I hope you guys really enjoyed. This was a really long video to make. I'd never made anything like this in my life. The longest video I'd made before this was I think it's uploaded on my channel now, the 20-minute one about doing the stories. I never thought that I was just never interested. I would start the video and I'd be like, oh my God, this is too much work. I'm not doing it. But I decided this time I would make this not as much of a priority as I would in the past, where I would just get it done in a day. I would take my time. I mean, even doing this now, I'm still not completely done. I have to go edit all the audio, put it with the video, blah, blah, blah. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. And I hope that you guys enjoy the video. If you guys want me to play anything else, just put it in the comments down there. If this video does get a lot of views and it gets a lot of comments, I will just do whatever the most liked comment is by. Maybe we'll say this video has a week before I just choose the game. Because I do want to keep making videos like this. It was pretty fun. But either way, whatever. I hope you guys had a great time watching this video. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. But anyways,